Darkness, nothing moves. Only a distant sonar pulse cuts through the void. Ping, ping. Then silence. March 1968. Somewhere in the North Pacific, the Soviet submarine K-129 drifts beneath 5 kilometers of water. 98 men aboard. 98 lives contained in a steel shell moving through the dark. Inside the control room, green light flickers across tired faces. The sonar operator leans forward, tapping the glass. The signal wavers, then vanishes. Recalibrate, the captain says quietly. His voice barely breaks the hum of the engines. Condensation runs down the metal walls. The air tastes of oil and iron. Every sound is amplified. The tick of a gauge, the rhythm of breathing, the soft thud of boots on steel. Another ping returns. Faint, distorted, fading into static. The operator hesitates, unsure if it is real. The captain glances at the radar again. The screen glows once, then goes dark. Above them, the Pacific rolls in silence. No distress call, no trace. Only water pressing down, heavy, endless, waiting. Somewhere beneath the North Pacific, a signal faded, and the ocean never answered. The hum of the diesel engines has become their clock. Every vibration, every metallic creak is as familiar as breathing. In the mess hall, a kettle hisses softly. Steam curls in the dim red light. Someone hums an old Russian tune from a radio that crackles between frequencies. A sailor writes a letter on thin paper, his handwriting careful despite the sway. "The sea is calm," he writes. "I will be home soon." Another man teases him for being sentimental. Laughter echoes off steel walls. The laughter feels real, heavy with life. In the sleeping quarters, hammocks sway like lungs drawing breath. The youngest crewman pins a small photo above his bunk. A woman smiling in sunlight, holding a child. He stares at it for a moment too long before the lights dim to night mode. Condensation drips from pipes, forming tiny rivers on the floor. Somewhere in the background, a valve releases pressure with a sigh, like the submarine exhaling. For a moment, everything feels safe, contained, predictable. Men move through routines so practiced they no longer think, only exist. Each gesture, each laugh, each note of that faint song is a heartbeat against the weight of 5,000 meters of silence above them. The camera lingers on the captain's face, calm, reflective. He lights a cigarette, stares at the instruments glowing faintly. The smoke drifts upward, trembling in the low gravity of peace. Down here, time feels slower. Every sound is a promise that the world above still remembers them. At first, it is just a sound, faint, almost meaningless. A sonar ping that drags too long before fading. The operator leans closer, adjusts the dial, frowns. The pattern is off. He listens again. It happens once more. A ripple in rhythm, the heartbeat of the sea skipping a beat. In the engine room, a pipe shudders. Condensation vibrates on the metal surface, forming perfect circles before dripping. One of the engineers wipes it away and keeps working, pretending not to notice the slight change in pitch. The captain senses it. He looks at the ceiling as if he can hear through the steel. The submarine hum feels heavier, slower, the air thick. Every creak sounds closer, every breath sounds louder. Someone laughs at a joke, forced, brittle. The radio cuts through with a burst of static, the music dissolving into white noise. Comms interference, someone mutters, but his voice lacks conviction. The sonar pings again, this time splitting into two echoes, one real, one phantom. The operator hesitates, eyes flicking to the captain. False reading, he says. No one believes him. The captain walks toward the sonar station. He places a hand on the young man's shoulder. "Keep recording," he says quietly. "Do not stop the log." The hum deepens. Lights flicker once. Pressure gauges tremble, the red needles quivering just below danger. The submarine seems to groan, a low metallic sigh that travels through every wall. No explosion, no alarm. Just a sound that didn't belong, and the silence that followed it. The warning light flashes once. Red, dull, almost lazy. Then the submarine jerks. A deep metallic crack rolls through the hull like thunder trapped underwater. Every man looks up. The air stills. The captain does not shout. He does not have to. Seal the forward compartment, he says, calm, final. Hands move automatically, levers pulled, valves turn, bolts slammed shut. But the pressure outside has already changed. The ocean is no longer around them. It is coming for them. A sound rises, low, groaning, growing deeper. The steel itself is breathing, bending. The engineer watches the pressure gauge spin wildly before the glass bursts into shards. Steam erupts from a vent. Lights flicker red, white, red. In the engine room, water sprays through a hairline crack, glittering like silver threads. One sailor shoves his friend aside and jams a wrench into the valve. Water wins anyway. The corridor floods in seconds. Boots splash. A wrench clangs. The radio screams static. Someone yells power failure, his voice swallowed mid-syllable by the roar of rushing water. The captain grips the console. His knuckles are white, veins sharp under the glow of the emergency lamp. He looks once toward the photo taped above the control panel, his crew smiling, alive. The lamp flickers again, then dies. Darkness, a heartbeat. Then the explosion, deep, muted, like the sky collapsing. The submarine jerks downward. Everything that is not bolted down floats. Papers, tools, a coffee mug turning slowly in the air before it shatters against the ceiling. Men tumble. Gravity no longer knows where to pull. A sailor claws at a hatch, tries to close it. Water rushes faster than hands can move. A last look, his eyes wide, full of light, and the wave takes him. Inside, oxygen turns to vapor. The heat spikes. Circuits burn. The smell of metal and salt fills every lung. Then nothing. No sound, no movement. Only the slow, final groan of a machine dying in the dark. Outside, the ocean folds back into itself. Bubbles rise, bursting softly as they climb. Small, fleeting ghosts. On the surface, the sea remains calm, unbroken, endless. No explosion, no alarm, just a sound that didn't belong, and the silence that followed it. Dawn breaks over the Pacific, pale and empty. Waves roll gently, unaware they have become a grave. No oil slick, no debris, just water, endless, perfect, lying. Days pass, then weeks. The Soviet Navy sends search planes, ships, orders, hope, all swallowed by the horizon. Radar screens remain blank. The coordinates do not blink anymore. The sea gives nothing back. In Vladivostok, wives gather outside the naval office. They clutch letters that never made it home, paper edges soft from fingers that will not let go. A mother keeps her son's photograph near a candle. The wax melts, the flame flickers, but she does not blow it out. Inside an empty apartment, a radio plays static between weather reports. A child asks, when will Papa's boat come back? The silence that follows is heavier than the question. Out at sea, the waves move exactly as they did before, patient, eternal, unbothered. Sunlight dances across the surface like nothing ever happened. The ocean does not mourn, it remembers differently. A telegram arrives months later, presumed lost. No survivors, no signature, just the seal of the state and the finality of typewriter ink. The mother places the paper under the candlelight. The flame trembles, catches the edge, turns it to ash. She watches it burn, her face calm, her eyes far away, as if listening for something beneath the wind. For months they waited, but the sea said nothing. The music fades to a single piano note held until it dies. Then only the sound of the tide, slow, eternal, uncaring. Years passed, the world changed. The Cold War deepened, but somewhere in the Pacific, coordinates remained marked on a map, a point of loss no one spoke about. In 1974, a new ship sailed those waters, a massive vessel named Glamour Explorer. Officially, it was for deep-sea mining. In truth, it was something else, a hand reaching down to touch ghosts. Underneath, in darkness colder than space, a mechanical claw opened like a metal flower. It descended mile after mile through black water until it found what no human eyes had seen since that night. The shattered hull of K-129, lying silent, proud even in ruin. The cameras flickered. Engineers watched in silence as fragments of the submarine broke free, rising toward the surface like memories unwilling to stay buried. Inside the recovered section, they found remains. uniforms still bearing the red star. On deck, no one spoke. The sea wind was soft, respectful. A small coffin was draped in both flags, American and Soviet. There was no anthem, no speech. Only a prayer whispered into the wind. "We commit these sailors to the sea." The coffin slid over the edge, falling gently back into the deep. It vanished within seconds, swallowed by the same silence that had kept it secret for 6 years. The sun broke through the clouds. For a moment, the ocean looked like glass, clear, calm, endless. The men watching felt something they could not name. Not victory, not relief, but the weight of understanding. It was not just a submarine that sank, it was trust itself, the kind that drowns between nations and never resurfaces. The final sonar ping echoes once more, faint, distant, fading into nothing, then only the sound of waves. The camera drifts upward through blue light until the world turns white. Title fades in. The K-129 incident, 1968. The sea remembers everything.